Welcome in former Jets general manager and currently the agent for Steve Kerr. It's Mike Tannenbaum. So, Mike, what was the ultimate difference for Steve in choosing the Warriors over the Knicks?
Hey, guys. Steve had two really good choices to make. Really believed in the vision that Phil Jackson had for the Knicks long term. And as you guys know, Phil's nothing but successful in everything he's done. Just felt like at the end of the day, he really liked the roster of the Warriors, and Steve and his wife have three children, all on the West Coast, including a daughter who goes to college in the Bay Area.
Mike, was money a factor, and did you guys get what you wanted financially from the Knicks in a contract offer?
We did. Yes, we did. Adam, they were more than fair, more than what we had asked for. And at the end of the day, this was a decision based on non-economics.
Mike, when you talk about the situation with the Knicks, everybody knows what Jim Dolan's reputation is as a meddling owner. Was that any kind of a concern for Steve when he was making this decision?
My partner, Mark Bartelstein, has a number of players in the NBA, and in particular on the Knicks, and he's had nothing but really good things to say about the Knicks and his dealings with them. And, from a head coach or GM perspective, you want to have a chance to win. You have the resources, and clearly the Knicks have that. And obviously they spent a lot of money on players.
Mike, you mentioned the roster before. What were the differences that Steve saw between the Warriors and the Knicks? And did he get any assurances on Carmelo Anthony's future?
Yeah, he didn't. But, when you're making a decision, be it Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, whomever, you're making a decision long term. So it has nothing to do with any one player, and whatever Melo does wasn't going to drive his decision. And again, I think Steve really believed in the plan and the vision that Phil had for the Knicks.
Mike, you talked about his daughter being on the West Coast, up in the Bay Area for college, and certainly he's a West Coast guy. Steve said on TNT last night in explaining the decision, quote, "I just couldn't get there." Where do you think he needed to get to have taken the job with the Knicks?
That's really a question for Steve. I mean, I can just tell you that, again, he was happy with it. He had a great meeting with the Warriors and, felt really good about their organization, their roster, and home. I can't tell you specifically, what it was at the end of the day. It was just a combination of those factors.
Mike, with all that said, if Stan Van Gundy took the Warriors job, is Steve Kerr coaching the Knicks today?
I've been asked that a few times today. That's certainly a possibility. I guess, the short answer is we don't know. But, look, this was not like an anti-Knick decision. This was just much more about the alignment felt better in Golden State. He loved the roster of Golden State. And obviously there was, personal reasons. With that said, who's going to bet against Phil Jackson? All he's ever known is success. And, for Phil to endorse Steve the way he did is something that was extremely meaningful to Steve, and it wasn't taken lightly.
So, Mike, ultimately, at the end of the day, for you, what was more pleasant, with your negotiations with the Knicks or the ones with Darrelle Revis?
I've been asked a lot of questions today. Well, let's see. I really enjoy that diner in upstate New York.
The Roscoe Diner.
It's funny. Every time I talk to a Syracuse alum, they all talk about the Roscoe Diner. So, but now with that said, I had a couple of great meals with Phil as well in L.A., so I think that's got to be a push there, Chris. But that's a great question.
L.A. versus the Roscoe Diner.
Mike, always the diplomat. Mike, thanks for the time. We really appreciate you popping on with us for a few minutes.
All right, guys. Thank you.